Accessing library computer data. Please input command codes. Command codes verified.
Captain's log, Stardate 70928.09. The last few days have been trying for both myself and the crew of the Tempest. Realization that we're not where we belong. We're a crew and ship out of time. The last few days, we've been trying to piece things together to figure out if there's any options to going back, and there are no options. We've jumped 22 years into the future. Loved ones have moved on or have been lost. Wars have been fought. The very fabric of the Federation has changed with shifts in power. I've been trying to think about how to approach both Johnny and Sully regarding their recent behavior towards one another. Their behavior upon returning from the away mission points towards some issues on both sides. Johnny has a lot to learn about his place in the world, owning up to his uniform and deciding if he wants to continue his career in Starfleet. It's clear to me that if he continues on his course, it will be a destructive one. Perhaps he's my lost cause, that I want to help find himself, but I'm not sure if anyone can help Johnny but Johnny. Sully, on the other hand, is the other side of the spectrum, a dedicated officer who wants to do bigger and better things with his career. Watching Sully and how he interacts with the crew, I can't help but think that his ego is a bit too inflated and that he needs some humbling. Maybe realization that Starfleet's in a recovery phase and is looking for new captains might put some pressure on him to perform differently. Maybe the weight of being displaced in time will also carry some weight. Sully and Johnny did get into it on the bridge after returning from their mission. It was clear they had something they needed to work out, so I let them. I took some time to think about bringing some sort of disciplinary action on both of them, but I have some other things in mind. Sully will have to learn to work with Johnny, and Johnny's going to have to learn to follow orders, and to a certain extent respect the chain of command. And Sully's position. Going into the academy, my good friends Todd Neighbors and Thomas Lightmore got into it nearly every single day at the academy, all the way up till their third year. They got sent off to do survival training together, and when they came back, the two of them were thick as thieves. Those two maintained a competitive spirit for a long time through the academy and even as they moved on. The two of them ended up as captain and first officer on a ship during the Dominion War. They had a pretty amazing service record and survived all the way up to the last push on Cardassia, where they both lost their lives. A lot of my classmates are gone. It's a sobering fact when you look into history, even a quick abridged version of it. You realize that you would have been part of the casualty list with as often as the Dominion targeted Galaxy-class vessels. Part of me thanks my lucky stars, but the other part of me knows that our fate would have been different. Anyhow, I get the feeling that Sully knows more than he's let on. Speaking to Elianna about it, their return and waking up, he wasn't with them when they were conscious, and the shuttle door was opened. Sully even made a log during the time still awake. Granted, it wasn't long before we all woke, but why him? Why was he reluctant to talk about it? I intend on discussing this with the counselor and suggesting strongly that she start seeing him. Might have to have Johnny go see her to work out some of his demons as well. Starfleet is already talking about sending extra counselors to see the crew to help them cope with what's happened. We're going to be here at Pacifica for a while, so we're going to make the best of it. Granted, we're mostly here on shore leave until further notice, but who knows what kind of trouble that will bring. I was relieved to hear that both of my sisters made it through the wars, and while one is still playing an active role in Starfleet security, the other left Starfleet to go start a private practice on Denobula Prime. She would choose the galactic epicenter for medical things to continue her practice. She's apparently had quite the success. Now I have to make that most interesting communications call to let my family know I'm still alive. It should be quite the shock. My crew and I have a lot of history to catch up on. I wager it will not be an easy transition for most of them. They were all young kids mostly. Now they are still young, while everyone they knew is 20 years older. End log.